Despite years of work, the question still remains, will these mounds of so-called chat surrounding Pitcher, Oklahoma ever go away? I'm Anthony Saviello. An answer to that question coming up.
Plus, a Joplin city councilman faces backlash and a recall petition after controversial comments about the transgender community.
The White House says it's working to iron out new trade deals with dozens of countries while increasing its pressure on China. I'm Connor Hansen in New York. I've got the details coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Work still continues in Ottawa County surrounding the Tar Creek Superfund site. This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. The cleanup from decades of mining left behind soil and water contamination, as well as millions of pounds of the substance known as chat. KOAM's Anthony Saviello shows us where the progress is headed.
Work continues as trucks carry thousands of pounds of chat out of Pitcher to be disposed of safely.
It's a well-organized machine in that matter because we have to organize haul routes to make sure we're being safe not only for our drivers but for the general public as well.
The Quapaw Nation is just one of the dozens of groups working to remediate the land in Ottawa County to what it once was.
Growing up here as a kid, you would see like a mountain from the distance in Pitcher. That's all gone now. Working for the City of Commerce, I've seen the work that they've done, where the land was prior and what it looks like after. It's a completely 190. It's beautiful when they leave it.
But there is still a lot of work to be done.
So our standards for wanting to make sure that this work is done efficiently, correctly, and as most beneficial to the property and environment as we can. It's our homeland. This is where we're going to be at. Quapaw Tribe's going to be here forever, and so we want it done right.
And as groups continue to navigate the hoops they have to jump through,
we have to plan well out in advance, and then we've been trying to open communications with Region 7 to make sure that we're doing the same stuff in stream for levels that they're doing, and we're trying to work from upstream south so we're not recontaminating things, working backwards. So
residents are optimistic.
Absolutely, there's still the same concerns, but do I feel like that's starting to get better and dwindle as far as the improvements? Because of the improvements, yeah.
In Ottawa County, Anthony Saviello, KOAM News. The Ottawa County Health Department offers free blood lead testing for children, and you can also get your yard tested for free. We've provided a link to all of this information and more on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Meteorologist Lindsay Gaffney joins us now with a first look at weather.
Well, temperatures are now just dropping down into the low 60s, getting into the 50s, and eventually down into the 40s. But we've got mostly clear skies tonight, no rain chances in our area. We're actually going into a bit of a ridge, which we know is a high pressure system that moves into our area, which is going to bring warmer weather as we head into the weekend. And we do have another chilly day ahead. Friday getting down into the mid to upper 60s, so it is going to be a little bit colder than what we've seen the last couple of days, but still really nice. We've got temperatures or sunny skies throughout the entire weekend, and then temperatures jumping up to the mid 70s on Saturday and then low 80s on Sunday. And like I said, sunny all weekend long. It is going to be a bit windier on Sunday, plus some potential rain chances in the forecast. And I'm going to have a full forecast coming up.
All right, thanks, Lindsay. Well, a Joplin group is wanting to recall a Joplin city councilman following a series of controversial comments about transgender people. The councilman says he's entitled to his opinion. KOAM Samantha Walker has the details.
In a series of social media comments, Joplin City Councilman Ryan Jackson refers to gender dysphoria as a mental illness and says people, quote, push the ideology on mentally unhealthy people and impressionable children. The incident sparked backlash, with community members organizing an effort to remove Jackson from his position, including a recall petition. The petition says the councilman, quote, failed to uphold his oath of office and has shown an inability to conduct oneself in a manner that preserves public confidence and respect. The founder and co-chair of Jomo Pride is behind the effort to recall Jackson. In a statement, Ron Birch says the petition is, quote, not due to a singular incident, but a culmination of issues since Councilmember Jackson took office. They add that hate speech, slurs, and making fun of those with disabilities and mental illnesses should not be tolerated from a city council member. According to the Joplin City Charter, a recall election can be held if a sufficient petition containing signatures from at least 20% of those registered to vote in the last municipal election is submitted to the city clerk. I spoke to Councilman Jackson, who says the controversial comments were made from his personal account, not from one associated with his role with council. He says, quote, we are all entitled to our opinion and freedom of speech, and, quote, science shows there are two genders and that's it. I don't believe men should be in women's spaces. Jackson says community members have approached him about controversial comments from other council members, but he told them others are entitled to their opinion. Reporting in Joplin, I'm Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
Now, organizers working to recall Ryan Jackson say they'll be at Blackthorn Pizza and Pub tomorrow from 4 to 6 with petitions to sign. Joplin area business leaders and community members gather to celebrate a year of achievements at the 108th Annual Chamber of Commerce Banquet. The Chamber presented a number of awards, including Outstanding Citizen of the Year, Business of the Year, and the Joseph Newman Rising Star Award, just to name a few. Organizers say the Cornerstone celebration honors the successes and contributions that make the Joplin community thrive.
It's a great opportunity for us to bring investors together of the chamber, our members, our business community, and celebrate one another and our successes, because our community wouldn't be what it is without the success of our businesses.
Well, KOAM received recognition tonight for its milestone membership, 50 years as a Joplin Chamber member. The Joplin Senior Center holds its annual Senior Expo today. The event showcases vendors from around the area whose products are specific to a senior lifestyle. Not only does the event serve as a great way to expose specific brands to seniors, but it also provides a valuable networking opportunity and creates a positive impact in the community. All the funds generated from registration fees for the expo will benefit the Homebound Meals program for the Area Agency on Aging.
Expo actually started as a fundraiser. We are trying to keep people off of wait lists for the home delivered meals program, and we have to get really creative on how we do that nowadays. But what better way to get these resources in front of older adults in the area than double it with a fundraiser, get these companies in front of seniors who are going to need these services eventually.
The Joplin Area Agency on Aging serves the senior population of Barton, Jasper, Newton, and McDonald counties. Well, April is National Safe Digging Month. Spire and other companies urge you to call 811 before digging in your yard. It's free to do and can prevent damage to electricity, gas, water, and telecommunication lines. After calling 811, a crew will come out and mark underground lines, showing you the safe places to dig. It not only prevents damage, but crews say it could prevent injury to you or others.
It's so important because it protects life. People get harmed from not digging with locates. Property gets damaged and the environment gets damaged. So it's very important to protect all of those things by calling 811.
Spire says even small projects like planting a tree can pose serious risk if proper precautions are not taken. Well, coming up, working out safely.
It's bringing into a new spring workout routine. I'm Chanley Painter with a look at strategies to help prevent injuries and burnout. Coming up.
And later, the Wildcat Glades Nature Group hosted semi-annual rummage sale to support local conservation.
Play here. Select game.
A new study sheds light on how processed foods and diet drinks may increase the risk for type 2 diabetes. Researchers found food additive mixtures, often found in artificially sweetened drinks, may raise a person's risk of type 2 diabetes by 13%. For ultra-processed foods, they say the risk went up by 8%. Spring has sprung, and if you're thinking of starting a new workout routine this season in preparation for the summer, health experts are sharing strategies to avoid injuries and burnout. Fox News correspondent Chanley Painter has the scoop.
While many people set fitness resolutions in the dead of winter, data finds most folks abandoned those New Year's goals a few weeks after starting them. But as the weather keeps warming up, anticipation to get outside and back into shape is growing. But if you haven't been active all winter, health experts recommend springing into spring workouts with caution.
Without proper preparation, you can set yourself up for an injury. Some common injuries that we see are strains or sprains of ligaments.
Before easing into a fitness routine, Dr. Derek Burgess of the University of Mississippi recommends easing into a whole body stretching regimen.
We also like to do dynamic stretching instead of just static stretching. What I mean by that is actually moving your body through a full range of motion as you're stretching versus just standing in one place and maybe touching your toes or reaching your hands up.
And once it's time to start exercising,
don't just go on the first day and do a complete workout. Work your way into it or work your way up to the maximum intensity that you want to get.
But while some people may be trying to cram in spring workouts for summer bodies, Dr. Burgess says getting into proper shape takes time.
So I would say look at the long term versus looking at short term and gradually start to change your exercise, change your diet, change your lifestyle for a healthier you.
Meanwhile, you'll also want to focus on recovering after a workout, with health experts recommending plenty of water, protein, and sleep. I'm Chandler Pager, Fox News.
Lindsay is next with a complete look at your forecast, and later an international prisoner swap.
Russia frees a dual national in a prisoner swap today as Moscow and Washington try to repair ties. In London, I'm Alex Hogan. I'll have more on this story coming up.
Get Cardinals baseball.
Overall, it's been a really great week, and today was so nice and warm outside. Now, taking a look outside downtown Joplin from the Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex, we've got another clear night tonight. A little breezy, but overall, it is going to be a really great night. Temperatures today got a little bit above average. We were about 73 degrees with our low hitting just about average, which is what we're going to see again tonight. Now, let's see if our drought tracker wants to load, but it did get updated today. It's not wanting to show up. However, we are officially out of any drought conditions for all of the 4 states. Now, moving on to the radar, we've got a few clouds up there near Nevada, but overall, we're going to stay clear skies through the rest of the evening. Now, temperatures right now in the lower 60s. We're dropping down another 10, 15 degrees, getting down into the mid 40s for overnight low. We've got some calm winds, but still a few gusts out there. Now, for the rest of the night, temperatures are going to continue to drop down with winds gusting again up to 15, 20 miles per hour. Nothing too crazy, and they're going to be dying down winds as we head into Friday. Now, it is a cooler night or a cooler day tomorrow. Temperatures only getting into the mid 60s. We have that northerly breeze, so it is going to be a bit chillier, but the sun returns, and it is going to be a pretty nice weekend ahead. Mid 70s on Saturday, 80s on Sunday. So looking at our future track, we're starting the morning off about 45 degrees in the Joplin area, 43 in Miami. So that's our overnight low with those northerly winds and calm winds through most of the day on Friday. Temperatures reaching about 66 degrees out in the Parsons area, hitting about 70, same in Yates Center. And then we're going to start to see those winds shifting by Saturday, southwesterly or southeasterly breeze with temperatures starting in the low 40s, but the highs for the day getting into the mid 70s, and you can see winds are starting to pick up as well. Southerly breeze gusting up to 30, 35 miles per hour on Saturday, which we'll look at in a moment, but temperatures mid 70s in Joplin, 76 in Parsons, so we're going to be mid 70s across the area. Like I said, though, we are going to see winds picking up, not on Friday, but on Saturday. You can see those southerly to southwesterly breeze, 25 to 30 miles per hour through most of the afternoon, but later in the evening, gusting up to 40 to 45 miles per hour as those winds start to shift. And then on Sunday, we are going to see a wind shift line come in. Might get an isolated shower or two, but it is going to be pretty breezy most of the day. Temperatures reaching low 80s. It's going to be very warm, windy. And we have that wind shift line coming in that's going to drop our temperatures pretty significantly by Monday. And then we're back to a warm up. We've got a couple of thunderstorm chances there Wednesday and Thursday. And then next chance of rain will be Saturday and Sunday. So we still have a nice long stretch of sunny skies, nice temperatures before we start to see those thunderstorm chances start to ramp back up. And that's not going to be again until Wednesday and Thursday. Might see some isolated showers Sunday night, but no thunderstorm threat, no severe weather threat, but overall it's gonna be a really nice weekend.
I know, a great weekend to get some outdoor yard work done.
I definitely need to mow my lawn.
Me too. All right, thanks, Lindsay. Well, the Wildcat Glades Nature Group is hosting its semi-annual rummage sale, and they're inviting the community to take part. The event raises money to support conservation and education efforts at Wildcat Park. Items like books, household decor, toys, tools, puzzles, craft supplies, and small furniture are welcome. But the group is asking people to hold off on clothing, old TVs, and large appliances. Organizers say it's a great way to support local nature projects, and all ages are welcome.
We have people that show up to our rummage sales that's when we see them. We see them twice a year, and they come in. They leave a donation on top of whatever they purchased, and so it's really fun to catch up with friends and just to see that. It's just a really neat experience.
The rummage sale begins tomorrow at the IBU building on Hearns Boulevard from 8 to 5, and it runs through Saturday. Well, coming up, food prices are on the rise. How shoppers are adapting from home gardening to backyard chickens to combat the increased cost.
Operation Teeing Off May 19th. Learn more at charlie22outdoors.com.
Higher food prices are worrying many consumers, and some are turning to growing their own food. Fox's Gary Baumgarten has more.
Food prices are ticking up, and many shoppers are starting to take notice.
84% of consumers tell us that food prices are high.
A March Consumer Food Insights report conducted by Purdue University shows shoppers' purchasing preferences have remained the same, but many people are starting to worry about those rising prices.
1 in 5 households tell us they've had difficulty paying for food in the last 30 days.
Temperatures are also on the rise, prompting some consumers to trade in grocery carts for gardening equipment.
Almost half. 44% of respondents in our survey tell us they plan to grow some of their own food.
For those turning to home gardening, many plan to stick to the basics.
82% of households tell us they're going to grow their own fruits and vegetables.
Other consumers are planning to turn their backyards into chicken coops to help combat the uncertainty of egg prices.
33% of Americans tell us they're going to keep hens in the backyard to grow their own eggs.
If gardening or chicken raising isn't for you, there are still other ways to make sure that you are spending less.
It's just spending more time searching for good deals and looking for discounts. Another popular coping mechanism is trading down. Choosing a cheaper variety.
Gary Baumgarten, Fox News.
Well, he's not just Ken. Mattel unveils its first Ken doll in the likeness of a professional athlete, NBA superstar LeBron James. The company says the doll celebrates King James's championship caliber skills on the court and his contributions as a cultural curator and trendsetter. The LeBron James Ken doll will be sold starting next week for a suggested retail price of $75 at select Target stores and at assorted retailers online. Pretty cool. A little expensive, but pretty cool. Well, Kansas will soon have 3 new license plate options to choose from. Governor Laura Kelly signed the bill into law, which will provide a national FFA design, a Route 66 Association of Kansas design, and a blackout design. The FFA and Route 66 plate sales will directly benefit their respective foundations, and the blackout style license plate will incur a $50 fee. Well, later, the Pittsburgh Police Department hands out 100+ bags of art supplies to kids while raising awareness for child abuse prevention.
Alan with Wayside Furniture in Joplin, Missouri. If you've never
The Pittsburgh Police Department put crayons and compassion to work today, handing out more than 100 bags of free art supplies to local kids. The event was part of a larger celebration of Artsy Thursday during the Week of the Child, a national initiative highlighting the needs of young children and their families. Organizers say the giveaway was about more than just paint and paper. It also aimed to spread awareness for Child Abuse Prevention Awareness Month. 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports coming your way. The stocks fell back to earth in early trading after yesterday's rally over President Trump's decision to dial back some tariffs as a trade war with China looms large. And a U.S.-Russia prisoner swap as Moscow and Washington make efforts to repair ties ahead of talks in Istanbul.
Theory tonight at 10:30.
Come join the Gospel Explosion this Friday.
You're watching the 4 States Most Watched News.
This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. Stocks took another dip this morning after historic gains yesterday following news of a pause on many of President Trump's tariffs. Today, the administration is keeping a positive attitude on negotiations while it continues to raise tariffs on China. Fox News correspondent Connor Hansen has the details.
During a cabinet meeting, President Trump said countries are rushing to the table after he put a 90-day pause in place for most of his new tariffs.
We let it get out of control, and we allowed some countries to get very big and very rich at our expense, and can't let that happen. It's not a sustainable formula.
We've have so many countries to talk to. It is it's incredible.
China, on the other hand, will now face a 145% tariff, according to the White House, as the trade battle escalates between the world's 2 largest economies. Despite positive news on inflation, economists say Americans will likely see a price increase on certain goods.
The minute that these containers hit our shores, these prices will be felt. And again, as we've seen in the massive sell-off of U.S. technology companies that rely or that have supply chains that are extraordinarily exposed to China.
Democrats have been critical of the rapidly changing tariff policy. Some are even calling for an investigation into possible insider trading by top officials before Wednesday's stock market surge.
Anybody who traded in the last 48 hours and made an incredible amount of money prior to this tariff announcement, who sits right there in that house, needs to answer for it.
China says it is willing to fight to the end when it comes to tariffs and has been reaching out to other countries attempting to strike deals of its own. In New York, Connor Hansen, Fox News.
President Trump scores a major win in Congress today. The House passed a budget blueprint, getting his so-called big, beautiful bill one step closer to passing. Republicans have been working on it for months, and after spending the last 24 hours corralling votes, House Speaker Mike Johnson was able to rally enough support to pass the budget blueprint this morning. Lawmakers can now start writing the budget, which GOP leadership promises will include at least $1.5 trillion in savings while boosting military and border security spending. Well, just a few hours before the new round of U.S.-Russia talks in Istanbul, Moscow frees a dual national jailed over treason in exchange for an accused smuggler held in the U.S. Alex Hogan has the latest.
Ksenia Karolina is heading home. The U.S.-Russian dual citizen was released Thursday morning as part of a prisoner exchange between Washington and Moscow. She was arrested in February of last year while she was visiting her family in Russia, then convicted of treason because of a $52 donation she made to a U.S.-based Ukrainian charity. But now she's free, traded for Arthur Petrov, who was accused of illegally exporting high-tech equipment to Russia.
We have got to be strategic and aggressive in getting Americans home.
The swap came just hours before the start of a new round of talks between the U.S. and Russian negotiators in Istanbul, and the same day as a high-level meeting of NATO allies aimed at coordinating efforts to aid the Ukrainian military and economy.
The paradigm shift must shift from Russia's first to Ukraine now. It is not only the right course of action, it is also our shared strategic interest.
But NATO might soon have to go it alone. President Trump is floating the idea of scaling down America's military footprint in Europe, tying troop levels to the tariff negotiations.
Depends. We pay for military over in Europe, so it'll be one of the things we discuss. That's unrelated to trade, but I think we'll make it part of it.
But ultimately, the president says he'll continue his push for peace regardless of Europe's position.
I want to see Russia and Ukraine make a deal. They got to make a deal.
The State Department says today's talks will be focused on normalizing relations with Russia, not the war in Ukraine. In London, Alex Hogan, Fox News.
Well, Lindsay is next with a complete look at your forecast, and later, safety first.
The weather's looking nice, which means a lot more people could be outside. Local law enforcement wants to remind individuals safety first. I'm Lonnie Walton in Joplin. I'll have that story coming up.
Well, it's been a really great week, and it's going to be an amazing weekend. We do have another cool day ahead, but let's go ahead and take a look outside downtown Joplin from the Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex. We've got mostly clear skies tonight. Winds are still blowing about 20 miles per hour, so we still do see some wind gusts. Now, our drought tracker wasn't working the first time around, but it's working now, so we have updated since last week, since all the rain that we saw, and we originally were in a moderate to even severe drought, Monette down to Bentonville, but now we're in this just dry area, so officially out of the drought for our 4 states region, looking really good. Now, we don't see a lot of rain chances, at least not for the next several days. You can see we've got a few clouds north of Nevada, northeast of Nevada, but the rest of us staying pretty clear, and that's going to happen for the rest of the evening. Now, temperatures dropping down. We're in the upper 50s now. We're about 58, 59, 60 degrees. Calm winds, but we do still see a few gusts up there. Now, temperatures are going to continue to drop down into the lower 50s and even into the mid 40s for overnight low. Now, tomorrow is going to be a bit cooler. So today we got up to about 73 degrees. Yesterday, 77 degrees. So we were really warm these last couple of days. Now, tomorrow we have northerly winds bringing a little bit of cooler weather. Mid 60s for our high. Now we're starting off low 40s, so we're getting a 20-degree jump. And then by Saturday, another little jump up to mid to lower 70s. And then by Sunday, 80s. So it's going to be really nice this weekend, even though Saturday is a little bit cooler than Sunday. Overall, really nice sunny skies. Starting off Friday morning, 45 degrees in Joplin, 44 in Parsons. You can see that northerly breeze, and winds are much calmer as we head into Saturday as well. Now, our high for the day, mostly about 66 degrees. We may briefly hit about 67, but definitely mid 60s across the area. Parsons looking maybe hitting about 70 degrees. Still got that northerly breeze. Now, overnight Friday and into Saturday, we're going to see winds shifting out of the southeast. And you can see temperatures are a little bit cooler, lower 40s to start off our Saturday, but because of that southerly breeze, we are seeing temperatures getting back into the mid 70s across the area. 75 in Joplin, 76 in Parsons, Yates Center, 77 in Veneta. Winds are starting to pick up a little bit on Saturday as well, gusting up to 40 miles per hour. Now let's take a look. Through Friday afternoon, we're seeing some winds gusting up to about 15 miles per hour, but they die down pretty quickly. Now, as winds shift out of the south on Saturday, winds gusting 20 to 25 miles per hour through early in the day to early afternoon. And then by overnight and into Sunday morning, gusting up to 40, even pushing up to 45 miles per hour. And that's going to be out of the southwest. You can see how strong some of these winds are going to be gusting. Now we've got a front moving in late Sunday night, which is going to drop our temperatures again as we head into Monday, nearly 20 degrees. So we're about 80, low 80s on Sunday, pretty windy. So very warm, very windy. We've got that front coming through Sunday night and into Monday. Might see an isolated shower or two along that boundary, but temperatures are dropping down on Monday, warming back up Tuesday, Wednesday, and even into next weekend. But we are just going to start to see those thunderstorm chances kicking back off Wednesday and Thursday. Now, Sunday night, I said we might have an isolated shower or two, but not going to be thunderstorms or anything really even to kind of disrupt anyone's day. But could see that, but really our next chance of rain isn't going to be until Wednesday. So we've got a nice long stretch of dry weather there.
We might even have to water if it gets dry for too long.
I mean, we got a lot of rain though, and I definitely think south of I-44, they're still pretty saturated out there from all the flooding that they saw.
All I know is I need to work in my flower bed and I need to mow my yard so bad.
I feel like mine just, my grass just took off over the last week.
Well, and you didn't get a chance. It was raining all the time.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, we did what we could. All right, well, don't forget, you can be the first to know about the day's weather with the KOAM Skywatch weather app. Get severe weather updates sent straight to your phone free of charge. It's available in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store, the KOAM Skywatch weather app. Coming up in sports, it's a busy day at a couple of different high school baseball tournaments in the 4 states. Plus, defending state champion Frontenac softball takes on Colgan. John Dales has those stories and more up next.
Up for Wild West.
With about a month remaining in the regular season, a bunch of our local high school baseball teams participate in tournaments over the next few days, and we get started with this afternoon at the Adam LaRoche tournament in Fort Scott and the Mickey Mantle Classic in Commerce. Both of them start today. Opening game of the 2025 Adam LaRoche Tournament, Fort Scott takes on Ottawa, and we pick it up in the bottom of the 5th inning. Tigers trail 10-8. Cannon Brown puts a good swing on this pitch. That goes all the way to the wall. A run will score easily, and he hustles to third, slides in safely with a triple, but Fort Scott still behind. Bottom of the 6th now. Caden Cannon lines one into the gap in right center. Brody Gomez scores the tying run. Cannon would advance to second, but gets stranded there. Now bottom 7, we're tied at 10. Ty Marbury smokes this pitch to deep right field. That bounces off the base of the wall, and he's got a leadoff triple. Game-winning run 90 feet from home. 2 batters later, Brown back at the plate. He laces a line drive up the middle. That's a game winner. Fort Scott beats Ottawa in walk-off fashion in the quarterfinals of the Adam LaRoche Tournament. Final score 11-10. Now to game 2. Carl Junction baseball faces Blue Valley North. CJ trails 2-0 in the bottom of the 1st. Wyatt McAfee hits a line drive into right. That brings the first Bulldog run of the game across the plate. Top of the 2nd now, and slow chopper here hit towards third base. Take a look at Bulldog third baseman Brody Pant charging. He makes a great throw to first in time to get the out. Bottom of the frame, the Bulldogs' bats continue to make noise. Here's Pant, who just made that play in the field. He lines it to left. Craig Hayes will score. Carl Junction now leads 4-2. Later in the inning, Deacon Endicott sends this pitch into right field. Takes a bit of a funny hop. The Bulldogs are now in front 5-2. Carl Junction takes down Blue Valley North in the quarterfinals of the LaRoche Tournament. Final score 10-9. Then the Bulldogs and Tigers meet up in the semifinals of the winners bracket. This game gets started much later than we initially thought. As we come on the air, they're in the 5th inning. Fort Scott up 2-0. Winner goes on to the first place game on Saturday. Meanwhile, it's also day 1 of the Mickey Mantle Classic over in Commerce, Oklahoma. This afternoon, Welch beats the Tigers in pool play. We've got highlights of that game available to watch on our website, koamnewsnow.com/sports. Back to Kansas, high school softball between Frontenac and Colgan. The Raiders lead 4-0 in the 3rd. Maddie Call flies this one to center, deep and gone. Home run, and the Raiders now lead by 5. We go ahead to the 5th inning. Frontenac with runners on 2nd and 3rd. Ellis Sullivan smacks it up the middle and through. 2 runs will score. The Raiders are now in front 7-0. NEO commit Avery Johnson steals the show in the circle. She racks up several strikeouts. The Panthers just never get fully comfortable against her, and the Raiders win this one easily, 15-2 over Colgan. More of the same in game 2. Frontenac wins 14-3 to complete the doubleheader sweep over their CNC League rival. Lady Raiders remain undefeated on the young season. After tonight, their record improves to 6-0. That's it for sports. We're back right after this.
The milder temperatures mean more people spending time outside, and those rising temperatures could also mean rising tempers. But as more head outside to enjoy outdoor activities, you and your property could be at risk. KOAM's Lonnie Walton spoke with law enforcement about tips to keep you safe.
I am the one to always check my surroundings.
Madison is spending time at the park. However, one thing she keeps at the top of her mind: her personal safety.
I would take my wallet with me or my purse and keep it with me at all times, make sure I have my eyes on it.
Her sister Mercedes does that too.
To be honest, I just either bring my wallet with me or I put it in my glove box and lock her up.
According to Lieutenant Kyle Hand from Montgomery County Sheriff's Office, these women have the right idea.
If you do leave your valuables in a car, make sure that they're concealed somewhere underneath the seats.
We all have heard the saying, if you see something, say something, but law enforcement says there's a few things they'd like to know to make their job easier.
If you can provide a description of a person that's injured or the person that is committing a crime, a detailed description of them. If they're driving a vehicle, what that vehicle looks like. A tag number is always awesome.
Both Madison and Mercedes say they just want to keep things simple.
Occasionally we'll take a little walk if we're feeling up for it, but usually just the playground is enough for us.
If I have anything, I will put it in my glove box or put it in my console, just keep everything locked up.
And with that said, most individuals we spoke to say they feel pretty safe in the 4 states. Reporting in Joplin, I'm Lonnie Walton, KOAM News.
Lieutenant Hand says if you're ever concerned about your safety, he recommends taking protective gear like pepper spray with you. The Last of Us gets renewed for season 3, plus we get a first look at Vince Vaughn's Nana's first trailer. That and more coming up in Hollywood Nation. A popular post-apocalyptic drama gets a renewal, and Ewan McGregor takes a trip across Europe. Fox's Ashley Dvorkin has a look at these stories and more in today's Hollywood Nation.
It's great to be back on the road again.
McGregor revs up another adventure, Goldstein goes for laughs, and Joel and Ellie get a renewal in the Hollywood Nation. The post-apocalyptic drama will continue for The Last of Us. HBO has renewed the hit series for Season 3. Season 2 premieres April 13th and is set 5 years after the events of Season 1. It features Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey returning as Joel and Ellie, whose peaceful lives in a mountain town are disrupted when they are forced to fight against the clickers and human threats.
Is it safe? Is it safe?
Brett Goldstein gets a date and a first look trailer for The Second Best Night of Your Life. His first HBO stand-up special will feature the Ted Lasso star, joking about love, sex, masculinity, and more. It premieres April 26th.
I want to open an Italian restaurant. What are you, crazy?
Netflix released the trailer for the comedy Nonas, starring Vince Vaughn, Susan Sarandon, and Joe Manganiello. The film is based on a true story about a man who opens an Italian restaurant in honor of his late mother and hires a group of grandmothers as the chefs. It starts streaming May 9th.
This time, Europe is our playground.
Ewan McGregor and his travel buddy Charlie Boorman are back on the road for another motorbike adventure. Apple TV Plus released the trailer for the new season of Long Way Home. It follows the duo on an epic trek across Europe, kicking off from McGregor's home in Scotland to Boorman's in England. The show returns May 9th.
When you explore the world, it makes you feel so connected.
In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
Well, if you haven't had a chance to watch it, our weather special Ahead of the Storm is airing next at 10 o'clock. And that's our time for tonight. Thank you for joining us. We're going to leave you with video of a baby girl chimpanzee born via C-section at the Wichita Zoo on Monday. Have a great night and an even better tomorrow.